Okay, guys, it's movie review time, and we're talking about A Monster Calls, which is a wonderful movie with great visuals, but it is a tougher movie than I expected. Um, it could be mistaken for a kids' movie from the commercials and trailer, but don't bring your 8-year-old to this movie, buy your popcorn and drink, and sit down expecting a Disney movie. It is not that. This is a movie that deals with very heavy themes and is not appropriate for a young child. The visuals are beautiful. The tree monster is initially frightening and then friendly and then a deeply emotional character in the life of the protagonist, who is a boy named Connor living in a village in England. And Connor has a pretty rough life. His mother is very sick, presumably with cancer, although her ailment is never specified in the movie. He's not only bullied at school, he's literally beaten by a trio of his fellow classmates on a daily basis behind the school, after school each day. So also his father has left the family and lives in California, I think with a new girlfriend. So Connor's got a tough life, and the toughest part is dealing with his mother's sickness. And so one night he is visited at exactly 12:07 a.m. by a tree monster. There's a giant tree outside of their house, a little bit a ways in the distance. And that night, it transforms into this 50-foot tree monster that comes to his second-story window of his house and informs him that over the next few nights, he would be telling the boy, Connor, a story each night, that he would tell him 3 stories, and then it would be Connor's responsibility to tell him 1 story. And Connor reluctantly agrees to this arrangement, although he has no idea what his 4th story will be. It's a very well written film. It's from a book. The screenwriter is the author of the book, which is usually a good sign. It's directed beautifully. The acting is wonderful, especially from the boy. I haven't seen the actor before. It always amazes me how a child can have such a firm grasp of acting. There is nothing artificial about his performance at all. You believe what's happening in the movie is happening to that boy. His grandmother is a very difficult woman. She's been around a while. She's set in her ways. She likes everything in her house to be precisely the way she likes it to be. That role is played by Sigourney Weaver. And that's the only aspect of the film that takes me a little bit out of the story at times. She's supposed to be English, and so she has an English accent in the film. We all know Sigourney Weaver. We've known her for decades. We know she's not English, and sometimes the accent falters a bit, and we're reminded that we're watching a movie because that's Sigourney Weaver playing an English grandmother. But she does an excellent job of playing the character, but that did take me out of the movie at times. It is a heart-wrenching film. Bring a hanky. But the tears are well earned. They are not... it's not a weepy movie where swelling music and convenient circumstances bring out emotions in the viewer. It is a movie where the story converges from many different areas of this boy's life into the realization of why this tree monster is coming to visit him and what the 4th story will be that the boy tells the tree monster. So it's a film about dealing with very difficult times in a family and how someone very young approaches that how it makes him not just sad but very angry, and how imagination can sometimes help you deal with some of the more difficult parts of life. So it's an interesting film for Hollywood to make because it's a movie about a boy, but the audience really isn't a young. It's not intended for a young audience. It's really an adult film because these are very mature themes, and I would hate for even William, my son, 10 years old, 9.5 years old, he would not enjoy this movie at all. At first, the tree monster is quite scary, and then there's just a great deal in this movie about the relationship of the boy with his mother, who is getting worse and worse and worse with the cancer throughout the film. So it's heavy stuff, but it's so well done that I would say it's worth seeing. And because of the magnificent visuals, it's worth seeing in the theater. Yeah, it'll be great on TV. It'll be great on HBO. But it's better on the big screen. And it's one of those films that's also better to see with a large group of people. I think that's one of the things that's really missing from this era of people going less to the movies and seeing more movies at home, is that communal experience of seeing a film with a crowd. There's something very special about that. But anyway, A Monster Calls, well worth your time, but be in the right mood for an emotionally taxing experience. It'll rip your heart out, but in all the right ways. So, A Monster Calls, a good movie, but a tough one.